Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft, and I'm coming at you guys with another professional HD game of Starcraft 2. And we do have Millennium Stephano here versus MMA. As I promised you guys before, I will be casting the finals of qualifier number 3 after we saw MMA defeat July in a best of 3, and we just saw Stephano defeating, who was it? It was Kiwikaki in a best of 3. So we do now have the winners of both of those series going at it head to head, and it is going to be a Zerg versus Terran. I do apologize, guys. You guys might hear my creaky ass pipes behind my wall. Someone's taking a shower right now, and there's nothing I can do about that unless you guys want me to like yell at him and be like, "Get out of the shower!" So I do apologize if you guys hear like water sloshing around and weird other noises and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, we do have Stephano here as the pink Zerg at what is this? The 230 position on Metalopolis, and on the other side of the clock we have Stephano. MMA playing as the blue Terran at the 9 o'clock position. I'm already hearing some kind of weird noises, so it's kind of distracting me. I hope you guys don't hear that. Don't want to go into too much detail as to what it is, but anyways, as you guys all know, Atlantic City is coming up in less than 2 weeks here, guys. Get on it. Get your ticket passes. 40% off if you guys use the discount code HDFAN. You guys can go to or I think you guys can go to tickets.ign.com, and if that doesn't work, go to www.ign.com/IPL. You guys can purchase your tickets through Eventbrite and enter the discount code there. Anyways, we just saw MMA. I think he wished, yes, he did. He just wished Stephano a huge amount of respect. I guess you don't wish respect onto someone, you give them respect. MMA said basically you are one of the top foreign Zerg players, and Stephano just confirming right there. And of course, it's just such a huge compliment to receive from someone who's Korean. And I say this time and time again, yes, we all know Koreans are like the best. They're like up here, and everyone else is kind of like sliding in and trying to get into that Code S quality playstyle. But for MMA to wish Stephano such a huge amount of luck and respect, I think that's just, you know, that's huge. I mean, that's got to be so motivating for Stephano to hear that, and no one deserves it more. Stephano lately has been on fire. He has been the Zerg player to watch. And one thing about his playstyle that's very unique from other Zergs is he uses it. Well, I guess it's not too unique, but he uses his infestors almost exclusively with Zerglings. He will always get these early +1/+1 lings. We saw him do that against Kiwikaki in the last game, and then he transitions into infestors. So he basically has an army of lings and infestors, and he uses that against not only Protoss but also against Terran and against Zerg. And it's very deadly and potent. And you'd think, you know, Stephano should get some Banelings against Terran players, but he never does. It's very rare you'll see Stephano get Banelings or Mutalisks. He will always use these early +1/+1 lings. He holds off the 2-base timing push from Terrans that a lot of Terrans do, which is just tanks and Marines around the 9 to 10 minute mark. And he holds it off with purely +1/+1 lings. Very, very well, actually. And then he transitioned into infestors, and it just becomes an all-out war from there. But Stephano does it very well. Now, as I said before, this is prior to patch 1.4, I think it's called 1.4, where the infestor did receive a bit of a nerf to how much damage it did with the fungal growth. So I don't know if Stephano's playstyle since then has changed a little bit to adapt to the lack of fungal growth doing as much damage. It may have. And I'm looking to see that at Atlantic City. Hopefully we'll see Stephano, you know, utilize some other builds, or maybe he's found a way to make the infestor work all the same. You know, just have to wait and see. Speaking of waiting and seeing, we'll have to see what MMA is going to cook up here. Another change that was introduced in the latest patch that came out a few days ago was the fact that Blue Flame Hellions no longer 2-shot workers, they now 3-shot workers. Which is actually, whoa, hold that thought, guys. MMA here going for a sneaky 3rd command center. That is one of the sneakiest positions to put a 3rd command center, and I wonder if I wonder why he didn't just build it inside his main. Now the pros, the benefit you get to building it out here is immediately you'll be able to like lift it off and place it here, or place it here if you want. But it is a little bit more exposed, so there's a little bit of high risk, high reward there. We'll see if we'll see what MMA does with that. But yeah, just going back to my old train of thought, the Blue Flame Hellion no longer 2 shots workers. It actually 3 shots a worker now. with 19 damage when it gets the blue flame upgrade. So I think it does like 38 to a worker, which is not enough to kill a probe, SCV, or a drone. Big change right there for the blue flame Hellion. But this is the old patch for this game, so the blue flame Hellion still very much a destructive force that Stephano is going to have to deal with. And I don't know how his all-out Zergling build is going to fare against the mass blue flame opening we have here from MMA. Look at this. He's got 2 factories. Blue flame is well underway. It's about to be done, in fact. And he's pumping Hellions out of 2 facts. So these Hellions are capable of roasting a very large amount of Zerglings. And even with the +1/+1 upgrade, I don't know how these Lings are gonna do when they go up against the fire barbecue pit that is the blue flame Hellion. We'll just have to see. Even post-patch, if this game was post-patch, the blue flame Hellion would still do the same amount of damage. It was still 2-shot a Zergling, because 19 + 19 is 38, and a Zergling has 35 HP. So even with the +1 armor, it would still 2-shot the Zergling. So we'll just have to see what Stephano's going to do here. The blue flame Hellions have arrived, and Stephano trying to go for a wraparound there, but doesn't know if he wants to commit. The thing here is he's got to make sure this hatchery doesn't go down, and look at this. MMA is gearing up to erect a bunker just outside the vision of the hatchery. And eventually Stephano is going to have to deal with that. I love how MMA's leaving the Hellions, though, at this ramp. This is pretty much making sure that that bunker is going to go up. And once that bunker does go up, that is going to fortify MMA's offensive position by leaps and bounds. Unless Stephano gears up for the flank attack here, and it looks like he's doing just that. He runs in with the Speedlings at the other side, he gets all the Marines, and he may have enough Speedlings to pick off the Hellions as well. Even before +1/+1 upgrade finishes for his Speedlings, it looks like he won't have enough to kill off the Hellions. However, he accomplished his goal, killing off that bunker. Oh my god, look at those Zerglings, they're just getting roasted! 3 Hellions all surviving there. But the important thing was the bunker was canceled, and you know, eventually these Hellions will be... I think Stephano will be able to deal with them. He's definitely not in danger of losing the hatchery anymore, which is what he, which is what he was sweating most about. And so now he has fortified the 3rd expansion, and that's a huge play for the Zerg player, especially on cross-spawn Metalopolis. You want to get into a macro game against a Terran, you want to establish a 3rd base, and you do want to, sorry guys, I just started hearing some weird things outside my wall again. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh. Anyways, Stephano, you do want to make sure you get this 3rd expansion up and running. But MMA has other plans in mind here. He is coming in for a counterattack, and he's even bringing an SCV here to repair the Hellions. Couple of siege tanks in to boot. Siege mode is not quite done yet, so MMA is going to have to wait about 10 or 8 more seconds. And once he gets siege mode, he will be able to set up shop outside the 3rd. And I think MMA is going to siege up right here at the sweet spot, using the terrain wherever he can to protect the tanks. And I think that's what he's going to do. Look at those blue flame Hellions just blasting those Zerglings away. And here goes the siege tanks. They are setting up. They are within range of that spine crawler. Is it going to get canceled? Yes, it will. Canceled only to die as a drone. That sucks. But oh my god, some blue flame shots roasting up the Zerglings. Spine crawler is now being brought over from the natural to the 3rd. The queen was roasted as well. And another well-placed siege tank at that little nook and cranny. It looks like those MMA getting surrounded by the Lings. The Marines were not in position to protect the tanks, and all those tanks at the north go down. The tank down here to the south will probably end up dying as well. And once again, Stephano holding off a 2-base timing push with pure Speedlings with +1/+1 and making it look easy. These +1/+1 Zerglings, man, they are buff. They're beefy. And they just completely eradicated that army without Baneling support, without Muta support. And this is something I just love watching Stephano do. Now, what is MMA gonna do now? He just lost his entire army. However, if you guys look at that this tab up here, you guys can see that MMA is still in the lead at 134 supply over 109. So, despite losing his entire army, MMA has been operating off of 3 bases this entire game, and he's about to get the gold expansion. So MMA is about to rocket forward in terms of economy, in terms of army, in terms of almost every aspect of this game of Starcraft 2, which is important for victory. MMA is about to just explode, and Stephano's gonna have to do something about that. He's running in with the +1/+1 Lings, and look how much damage they're doing to the Marines. One thing here MMA doesn't have is stem, which I feel is a mistake. Stim is so late right now. He's actually getting combat shields and stim at the same time. So his Marines they have the +1/+1 upgrade, but they don't have combat shields or stim. And if you guys refer back to the original chat between these two players, MMA did say that he was tired. I don't know if you guys caught a glimpse of that, but I did, and MMA was like, you know, it's 8 a.m. Korean time, I'm very tired, I've been playing a lot of matches, I wonder if fatigue here, I wonder if it may be starting to set in a little bit for MMA. It's quite possible, and if that's the case, then I guess that makes sense as to why he forgot stim and shields, but you know, at the same time, MMA is on Slayers, and Slayers is a registered pro gaming team in South Korea. They practice 14 plus hours a day. So I don't know, is this an excusable, you know, mistake by MMA? Is this part of his build to get plus stim and shield so late? I don't know. But certainly against +1/+1 Lings, his Marines are not faring so well. And now Stephano is bringing out the Infestor, and this is what completes Stephano's build. He has +2/+2 Lings now with Infestors. Fungal Growth demolishes Marines. He doesn't even need Banelings, and then the Speedlings just wreck everything else. These Speedlings just went from buff to beefy to, oh my god, they are going to destroy your face and rip it off. And just wait for +3/+3, because look, Stephano's already on Hive Tech here, and talking about ripping your face off, you're about to see some Ultralists come into play, and that is actually what completes, it's like the cherry on top of the completion of the cake. The Ultralists coming in with the Lings and Infestors, and of course the Ultralists sharing upgrades in the melee and Carapace department. It's just insanity. And here comes Adrenal Glands as well, so top the cream on the cake with a little bit of crack. And there you have it. It is Stephano's recipe for success. And that Siege Tank just friendly fired that Marine to high heavens. But Stephano here is about to go into beast mode. And I don't know, what is MMA gonna do? He's still on Marines and tanks. He is starting to transition into some of those ghosts, and of course those cybernetic ghosts are very important to dealing with Infestors. The EMP Shockwave, of course, working wonders, and just depleting all the Infestors of their usable energy. But it does require you to be very quick on the spot. You gotta be literally Johnny on the spot with the ghosts. And you have to have very quick reaction. So we'll have to see if MMA is going to be able to do that. There goes a scan. Does it reveal the Ultralist Cavern? Yes, I think it does. Yes, it does. Okay, so he sees the Ultralist Cavern. He knows what's coming. Adrenal Glands, plus Chitinous Plating, +3/+3, almost ready. 4 Ultralists on the production tab. So MMA's got a little bit of a window here before the Ultralist, before the Adrenal Glands, before the Chitinous Plating, and before the +3/+3 finish to maybe snipe a hatchery here. Is he going to take advantage of it? And yes, he's going to go for a stim with 8 Marines. Pops the Overlord, pops a couple drones. Stephano just waiting for the right time. It looks like now's the time he's going to go in without the upgrades finishing, but it looks like he may have enough Speedlings and Infestors to just mind control and maul his way to victory. He's killing off lots of Marines here, ladies and gentlemen. The hatchery was sniped though, so MMA luckily gets the hatchery for his sake. Couple more tanks getting neural parasited by the tentacle, and getting blown up as well. But you know what? I know MMA lost a lot right there, guys, just for a hatchery, but you know, I almost feel like it was worth it because he killed off a couple of Infestors, he killed off the hatchery, he established a base all the meanwhile, so he's not in a horrible spot. He is gonna have to find a way to deal with these Ultralisks though, and oh my god, look at that fungal! And those Marines are just getting shredded right there, but it looks like Stephano doesn't have enough firepower to burst through, and you know, MMA with what, +1 weapons on the tanks and 2 Marines, and combined with the sniper fire from the Ghost, MMA is able to hold on to the gold. And the counterattack from Stephano falls on deaf ears. It doesn't look like Stephano's able to make anything work here. And Stephano's only operating off of 5 bases, trying to get the 5th base up. Whereas MMA is operating on all available bases on his side of the map. That is a total of 6. And that is not looking good at all. Here comes the Cracklings with 3-3. They do so much damage. Look at them. They're attacking 2 different locations. Very smart by MMA here. I don't think he's going to get this PF in time. I don't think so. I don't know. Those Cracklings at 3-3 are doing an immense amount of damage. And look at how fast that PF is burning. The PF is going to go down. to just a handful of cracklings, excuse me. And now you guys see how powerful these cracklings are at 3-3. Literally, I'm telling you guys, man, forget cream on the cake, it's crack on the cake. And they're so strong. I mean, look at this army from Stephano. Stephano preparing for the grand move in here. Is he going to be able to bust through? He mind controls the tank at the front, helping with a little bit of artillery fire, but there's the EMP shockwaves, depleting all the infestors of their energy. I don't think Stephano cares, though. He's just got such a big army. He's going to maul that PF down. Mass repair going off. The PF is going to go down, though. 5-3 Ultraless, max upgraded, just shredding that PF apart. And Stephano, in the meantime, getting a hatchery down to the, re-establishing that hatchery, in fact. But it looks like he's going to lose his Ultras here to the... Oh, that tank is going to go down. So both players just playing such a high level of StarCraft 2 right now. Let's just take a look at the units lost tab. We can get a little general idea as to what is going on in this game. Currently, Stephano is at 18,000 units resources worth of units lost. Of course, 451 in terms of unit count, because a lot of his units are cracklings, which are very fragile and they die very fast. But you know, in terms of units lost, Stephano just trailing by a little bit. And, you know, that's going to hurt him because that means he's going to have less reusable resources in the late game. But he's not too far behind. And in terms of income, it does look like he is ahead in harvesters. Both players actually pretty much peaking in terms of efficient amount of harvesters. Hold that thought, though. We do have a big attack potentially here. MMA setting up shop at the low ground, looking outside the 6 o'clock. Also a very good spot because it pretty much is right next to the gold in case Stephano tries to secure the gold expansion. And we do have a ghost coming in here, launches a big EMP. I don't think it hit all the infestors though. And meanwhile here, look at this. Stephano has to hold this position. Not the best position to fight though. Oh my god, those M&M are coming in. Yes, that is M&M now. The Marauders have joined the fray. Marauders so good against Ultras. Stephano has to pull out. He can't do enough damage and he has to pull out there. But it looks like he's going to go in for one more. Does he have fungal growth? No, he does not. That means he's M&M. And M can pull away pretty easily. But man, those Ultras are so strong at 5-3. They are just cruising on through despite having Marauders and tanks there. And they just actually force a complete evacuation of those dropships. More Marauders still coming out from the other high road. And they meet their demise at the handful of Cracklings and Ultras. Wow. Stephano making it work here. He has defended all positions. I don't think MMA is going to be able to snipe this hatchery off either. So, wow, MMA trying to be aggressive wherever possible. Ooh, almost losing all three ghosts. Did pick up the other two. But, you know, Stephano, MMA trying to be aggressive wherever possible, trying to strike multiple locations. And we all know he is the Marine Medvac abuser, and his Terran versus Zerg is probably among the world's best, if not the best. But in this situation, Stephano making things work out for him. He's defended countless positions. He's been attacking Planetary Fortress and sniping them left and right. And it's such a close game right now. It's very hard to tell who's ahead. Look at this triple Overlord drop going in right here. The production tab also showing 2 nukes right there, completing Terran building armor and high-sec auto tracking as well. You know, it's 25 minutes in the game. MMA may be thinking, what else can I get? And actually, building armor makes a lot of sense. It's going to reduce the amount of damage these cracklings do. But right now they are doing a lot because the building armor upgrade hasn't completed yet. Starport goes down in about 10 seconds or so. Tech Lab's gonna fall as well, and Stephano might be happy with that. It may be time to pick up shop and get the hell out of there. But my eyes right now are on those 2 nuclear missiles that just finished out of the silos, which I have no idea where they are. I'm still looking at these cracklings, which are wrecking the supply depots apart. And meanwhile, we have a massive engagement in the middle of the map. Look at that fungal! The Ultras, though, just evaporating into a red, thin, bloody mist, though. M&M may be just a little too strong at this position. Speedlings, cracklings are still doing a lot of bit of damage here. They're still doing a lot of damage here at the mineral line, killing off hordes of SCVs. Stephano also coming in with lone Ultralisks here to do more damage. Meanwhile, Marines coming in for a drop. We have action occurring all over the map, ladies and gentlemen, and what an intense game of StarCraft 2 right now. It's very hard to tell who's ahead. More cracklings making their way around the back. They just eradicate and erase that orbital command in seconds. And MMA now, I don't even think he can afford to make any more orbitals. He's just got to go and lock down on PFs everywhere, with maybe bunker support as well. He may actually be able to snipe this expansion. No, cracklings are running in, and they're doing so much damage, even to the 3-3 upgraded Marines. Oh my god, that was such a cost-efficient battle for Stephano. He just maybe traded, I don't know, 600 minerals for like 1,000. But talking about being cost-efficient here, we may have the most cost-efficient spell of all, the nuclear missile. No, but Stephano all over that, pulling units away. And the nukes are going to land here. Oh, that ghost is going to die. A couple of larvae go down. That ghost actually ends up surviving the nuclear holocaust. And MMA unable to hit gold with the nuclear missiles, but at the same time did delay mining for a little bit, and of course now revealing that he has nuclear missiles in his arsenal, which is always a worrying thing for a Zerg player. It looks like Stephano going in for another attack. His ultras and Link's gonna get caught out of position though, and I think this may be enough M&M to shred it down. Yes, it will be. And Stephano once again losing a lot of his ultras. He's dropping his supply now, guys. 140 to 153. Not looking good for Stephano. Finally establishing the gold expansion for himself. He has not had this gold expansion for, I don't think, ever. And actually, when you think about it, that is good for Stephano, because this entire game, he hasn't been operating on the gold. He's been operating on the standard expansion, standard minerals, and he's been able to stay toe-to-toe with MMA. So, in the late game, when that gold expansion comes up, that is going to be so beneficial for Stephano, and MMA knows that. MMA's own gold has been mined out for quite some time now, so MMA has to prevent this location from being mined. This is going to be the crucial point, the crux, if you will, of this game. This gold expansion, this one also going to be another focal point as well, because MMA needs some minerals right now. He is going to be running dry very soon. In fact, income tab showing both players dropping under, well, MMA dropping under 1,000 minerals received per minute. Stephano's actually still looking pretty good. But, oh no, this orbital could go down. SCV's coming to repair. Another command center coming up as well. And it looks like it's going to get the repair at the last second. But, you know, this is really risky for MMA to be using orbitals and not PFs. I don't think MMA has a choice. I think this may be his original command center, maybe from his natural or something, and that's why he doesn't have a PF, but those cracklings can come in at any time. Hold that thought, though. Here comes Stephano. A couple of fungals missing their mark, and look at those Marines and Marauders. They could get fungled. They are going to get fungled, and a massive vomit of green acid just destroying and locking down the M&M, and Stephano's Ultra is able to come in and clean the house. What up? Ultra's in the house. They just wrecked everything, and MMA's army falling apart here. Stephano bringing back the game in his favor. Also preventing mining from going on here. Brilliant. Just an Infestor and an Infested Terran doing work. And a couple Marines going to be able to come out and push that away, but MMA losing ground in the middle of the map, that is not good. I mean, yes, he doesn't really need the gold expansion, but losing ground as a Terran player is never a good thing. And MMA is going to have to reestablish that if he wants to control this game. Things right now looking pretty bad. He was able to get mining operating right back again at the 12 o'clock. Still trying to hold down the front door here. Crackling's running in, doing a lot of damage. The Terran armor on the buildings has been upgraded to 2 now. So, of course, the factory coming with 1 naturally will have a total of 3. Crackling's unable to do nearly as much damage as he did before to the buildings. And that is helping out in so much for MMA. The building's creating a natural funnel into the third, into the natural, and that's gonna keep MMA alive for a little bit longer. MMA just needs to hold out. Here comes Stephano with another wave of ultras, lings, and infestors. MMA's in a lot of trouble. He's gonna resort to sticking on the high ground here, but that means his buildings are going to get shredded. And look at the cracklings continuing to flood into the north. Oh no, if they're allowed to get in that mineral line, they're gonna destroy house. Meanwhile, look at the barracks. They're just all falling apart here for MMA, and I don't know if MMA could hold, guys. Those ultras are running up. Not the best position for them, though, in between a bunker and the ramp and the M&M. I think MMA is gonna hold, guys, but look at the damage being done by the cracklings. Oh my god. Finally, MMA brings his workers to fight. The cracklings are still fighting. They're still fighting. They did so much damage right there. That was incredible. And here we are. This could be the last hurrah. I don't know if MMA can hold now. The Ultra, the Ling, the Infestor has flooded into the main. And that is going to be GG. And what a good game that was. Wow. So, 2 high-class, world-class caliber players here. MMA and Stephano duking it out. I think you could argue that MMA is probably the best Terran right now, maybe alongside MVP. But MMA showing a great game of Starcraft 2 there. Stephano showing just a little better. And so Stephano was able to take a 1-0 lead here in this series in the grand final of Qualifier 3, which means it's time for the next game. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Game 2 is going to be coming out next, and this is HD.